What does it mean to be human? Is it to be purposeful, to be empathetic, or to be regretless? In some people's cases, it could be all of these and yet none in others. When it comes down to it, to be human is to be unique. In A Good Man's Hard to Find, a short story by Flannery O'Connor, there's a grandmother whose morals become inconsistent when encountered by the misfit. The misfit is a criminal whose philosophy is that there's no pleasure but meanness. Unlike the grandmother, the misfit actually sticks to his principles and never wavers. The grandmother, though, immediately abandons her love for Christianity and immediately questions God's ways in an attempt to change the misfit into a good man. O'Connor is using the grandmother's fragile moral code and the misfit's evil way of life to show how being human is to have a unique set of morals. In A Clean Well-Lighted Place by Ernest Hemingway, an old waiter works devotedly at a cafe and lacks everything but work. He describes himself as of those who like to stay late at the cafe and stays up all night only able to fall asleep during the day. He claims to have insomnia, which is something that he states many must have, but here insomnia is being used as a metaphor for the feeling of nothingness. The old waiter himself even dismisses religion, and as a result, the only thing in life that he has is his work at the cafe. Only at the cafe can he find comfort and feel like life is going how he wants. Hemingway is using the old waiter to show how being human is to live how you want. Cops are being labeled as inhumane murderers more than ever since the death of George Floyd last month. This because their prejudice of African Americans are causing impulsive actions that lead to the death of black lives. For this reason, there are protests and rallies happening around the globe helping raise awareness. Those who don't support the movement are ignorant and don't realize how long this kind of mistreatment has been going on. Being human is to be able to accept the differences, at least the physical ones. In Jamila Liskau's TED Talk, she describes the three ways she speaks English. At home, she speaks normally. On the block, she speaks in a quote unquote hood manner. And at school, she speaks up for her people. The different ways we speak and communicate contribute greatly to our person. For example, the way and the time I spend talking at school is much different from at home. As a result, the person people know me of at school is much different from the person my family knows of. The different languages and ways we speak create unique personas for each person we meet. Growing up, my parents and older siblings taught me most of what I know today. Granted, my siblings grew up learning from my parents. Basically, we learned almost everything from our parents, and in the same way, so did my parents. Still, we don't do things like making rice the same way. My parents prefer making it in a pot, while my grandparents preferred using a rice cooker. My siblings and I prefer using a rice cooker since basically you can just leave it cooking by itself. Basically, we're just lazy. My parents grew up fairly poor and had to grind it out to be able to immigrate, while me and my siblings, we spent hours at home wasting our life away. The gap in mentality or just lifestyle in general shows how our environment growing up deeply affects our character in unthinkable ways. To be human is to be unique. This could be through morals, chosen lifestyle, physique, how we communicate, and our personality.